What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the TF Movie Show. This is just a web series. We're talking about the Transformers film franchise. This is episode number 85, and in this episode, we're going to talk about what's next for the Transformers film franchise. Transformers Rise of the Beast left us with two teasers, okay? One is the G.I. Joe teaser, and of course, Unicron, because Unicron didn't do all the damage to Earth, but he definitely wants to come back, and he's like a big bad villain that needs to be teased throughout several movies before we get to his final arrival to Earth, where he does lots of damage. So of course that's gonna happen, but let's just think of all the different types of movies that we're getting in the future that could possibly happen. First of all, for sure we know that next year we're getting Transformers 1. And that is an animated Cybertron prequel that's coming out in September next year. And that one is going to be very, very interesting because I still don't know if it's like its own thing or it is directly connected with this set of films. And by this set of films, I mean Bumblebee and Transformers Rise of the Beast. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be connected to these two most recent films. I mean, it could be, or it could be its own thing where they could do whatever they want, because we already know the Transformers live action films haven't really been following the animated lore, whether it's G1 or the Netflix series, which provides lots of backstory in full depth. So we don't know what they're going with, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what it's going to be. Lorenzo de Ventura talked about how it's going to be like nothing we've ever imagined. It's got a really unique animation style, so definitely something looking forward to. Okay. Um, Next up we have, okay, this is unrelated to Transformers, but because of the teaser at the end of the film, a new G.I. Joe movie. Okay, this I believe will not be directed by Stephen Cable Jr. It's going to be its own thing, but you know, Hasbro and Paramount, they have the G.I. Joe property, but its last outing, G.I. Joe Origin Snake Eyes, was abysmal. It was just not a good movie. Didn't get a lot of love at the box office, and it was just a poor attempt at the reboot. I think it was honestly, I think it was a good idea, but they just did a poor job in its execution. So this is an opportunity for them to go back to the drawing board and do something different. I don't even think they have a plan for a G.I. Joe movie, but they decided to test the waters and see if there's any excitement for G.I. Joe by using Transformers Rise of the Beast, or rather the conclusion of Transformers Rise of the Beast, as a launching vehicle, which I think is kind of gimmicky. I will tell you my honest opinion. I'm very mixed on the fact that they decided to do that at the very end of the movie. I preferred if they would have had a proper ending that teased the next film. After they did that, they had the credits, the first set of credits, then they had the Mirage scene, which to show was that Mirage is still alive, okay? Which was great, but I'd rather they just skip the whole G.I. Joe thing, and it kind of takes away from Transformers to introduce one property in another property's film. So I'm really, really mixed on that. It was exciting, but then when you think about it more, you just think about what is this? This really just opens the door to a broader, like a wider world, and it's just too much to think about, right? But you know what? They could have their very, very, very own G.I. Joe movie. There's tons of possibilities. I mean, in the end, they're kind of the same thing, but one deals with humans, the other one deals with robots, but they're both trying to defend against global threats, right? The GI Joe is against international terrorism and all that stuff, global terrorism. There could be like a lot of otherly world elements involved, right? Autobots and Decepticons, same sort of thing, but they could have their just a very own GI Joe movie, okay? Or, here's the other thing that could be happening, a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, which is what Lorenzo Bonaventura has been teasing for years. He's been talking about it, and he only talks about, yeah, I think it could work. It could be a really good idea, but I don't think there's actually been any type of actual talk about it behind the scenes. I think it's only been talking about it in interviews, saying that yeah, it could happen, because he's obviously not going to say no, it's not happening. They always want to say, leave a possibility there, because once he says that no, it's not happening, all the movie news sites will just say that in the headline, saying G.I. Joe crossover with Transformers is not happening, according to Lorenzo Bonaventura. So he's going to leave that open. And now, with, I'm pretty sure he's heard and seen the audiences get excited about that when he was there at the premiere, the various premieres rather, than it shows that there is some excitement there is some interest, people are curious, but are they really? But so a G.I. Joe Transformers movie could happen. I mean, they already teased that in toys. I mean, they have G.I. Joe and Cobra vehicles transform into Autobots, right? So they could do an entirely new thing, and inject some new fresh life into the franchise, but it's going to be something very, very different. Okay, in a way, it's kind of like in the cartoons, one of the things that I loved about G.I. Joe is that not just the human characters, but I love the vehicles. The vehicles are so unique. The vehicles are so exciting because they have such cool designs. Imagine that transforming into Autobots and Decepticons, right? That's something that could be very, very exciting, but it's just kind of a really out there idea. It's really, really out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, next up. Okay, now this is a possibility. This could very well happen. Okay, because everybody loved Mirage. Okay, I don't think there's there's the same amount of love for Mirage that there is for Bumblebee. Kids love Bumblebee, but everybody loves Mirage. You know what I'm saying? So they did it for Bumblebee, but why can't Mirage have his own movie? Mirage should have his own movie. I don't think it should be called Autobot Mirage. You know what I'm saying? Mirage will have his own movie. It could be with or without Noah Diaz. Okay? It could be with or without. But Noah's, he doesn't know if he's gonna join G.I. Joe. I know that the agent loved to have him on his team, but at the same time, he's got a connection with Mirage. So, I think that would be a really, really good idea, to have him keep on going and going on Autobot missions. I mean, that would be sweet. Introduce a couple of 2 or 3 new Decepticons. And I think that would be a really great movie. I'm totally down for that. Bumblebee was great, because it was just a very, very character and story driven film. And, there was less spectacle, but I love the story. You know what I'm saying? I love the characters. So Mirage could work, okay? Now, the other films that I'm mentioning is less likely to happen. It could very well be the same film as Mirage, and that is an RC and Mirage buddy film. Why do I want an RC and Mirage buddy film? Or it could be a Mirage and RC buddy film, whatever you want to call it. And the reason is because I really wanted to see a lot more RC. I really did. And maybe if they were to make a Mirage solo film, RC can be in it as well. I think that would really be really great, because when you really pay attention to how RC feels about Mirage, RC is always talking bad about him, saying like, oh, he's not the best person to do leadership and planning or whatever, right? So, there's that bickering going on, and I think that could create for some great Autobot chemistry. So, not a romance in any way, shape, or form, but I'm talking about like the fact that they could work together, and I think it could be a very fun film. It could be of the same movie as the Mirage solo film, and RC is a supporting character, or it could be a full-on, well-balanced RC and Mirage buddy film. Okay, so that could be it. Most likely won't happen. The probability of a Mirage solo film happening with RC in it is more likely. Okay, so there you have it. The reason why I don't talk about them as the same film is because of the way it's going to be marketed. Most likely, either film is going to be marketed as a Mirage film. Okay, whether it's an RC Mirage buddy film or a Mirage film, is still going to be marketed the same way, and that is a Mirage film, because everybody saw the connection with Mirage and Noah, just like Bumblebee as a character, right? If you say that there's going to be an RC film, I just don't think that there's going to be a lot of excitement about that, maybe with some hardcore fans, but a lot of people really didn't see a lot of RC in Transformers Rise of the Beast. Like it's just a supporting background character, They didn't give her justice. So that's why a Mirage film is a much better choice, okay? The next movie, now this one could be directed by Stephen Cable Jr. Heck, the Mirage film could be directed by Stephen Cable Jr. because he's got a really good working relationship with Pete Davidson. Because there was a lot of character moments, and he did a lot of direction with Pete Davidson. In any case, the next film I thought could definitely be directed by Stephen Cable Jr. is the Beast Wars movie. And when I'm talking about Beast Wars movie, I'm talking about there's no Autobots in it, there's no Decepticons. This is straight up Maximals and Predacons, okay? This takes place in South America. And I really think that this could be a new movie. This could be its own movie. And I'm down for it. I really liked the Beasts. I really would have wanted to see more of the Beasts. I would have liked to see them more as characters and maximized, right? So they were just teased at the third act of Transformers Rise of the Beast, but I think they could really have their own movie, and we really didn't see Predacons. We saw a Predacon logo on Scourge's shoulder, but Predacons weren't really, they weren't there physically. They were just there in spirit because they got killed by Scourge, right? And he's been hunting them down. But a Beast Wars movie is definitely something that could happen. Lorenzo de Bonaventura talked about it for all when he talked about all the different ideas that could happen. He's mentioned it in the past, and I think this is a good. Like Transformers Rise of the Beast is kind of an experimental vehicle to launch several different things. It really opens the door. All right. So, and finally, the next thing, this could be done by Stephen Cable Jr. as well, because they want Stephen Cable Jr. for the next one. He's been in early talks for the next Transformers film, a Transformers movie. Okay, no beasts, just straight up Autobots and Decepticons and Unicron. And now this might not be the whole, where Unicron is coming. I think that Unicron is not going to be showing up at all in this next Transformers film. He might be talked about just at the end of the film, okay, of this next film. That's it. But as for the film that follows afterwards, I think that that's when Unicron finally comes, okay? But as for the next actual Transformers film, there will be no beasts. It's straight up Autobots and Decepticons. This is going to be, we're going back to basics, okay? And Unicron will be teased at the end. So that's what I believe is going to happen. And that's what I believe are our 6 options, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's make it 5 options. The Mirage RC film, the buddy film is, it's more or less the same as the Mirage solo film. So yeah, 5 options: G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, Mirage solo film, Beast Wars movie, or the Transformers movie. Okay, so 5 options. What do you think is going to be next besides Transformers 1? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what you want to see, okay? I'll be completely honest. These are a lot of, besides the G.I. Joe, I'm not excited for it. I mean, I'll watch it, but the G.I. Joe thing, let's just stick to Transformers, okay? I'm excited for a Mirage solo film. I kind of want them to take it back to, a little bit more of a smaller film. Just because we just got a really big and awesome Transformers live action film. Let's take it back, okay? I would like to do things in this order: a Mirage solo film, a Beast Wars film, and then a Transformers film. I'd love to see that in that order, okay? And the one I want to see, the last that I'm least interested in, is G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, okay? But in any case, that's all I got for you for what's happening next. I'm excited to see Stephen Cable Jr. Come back as a director, because I feel that he knows what he's doing and he knows his stuff. All right? Anyways, my name's Alex. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel about all this, and I'll see you next time. Peace.